Hey everyone, it's Froggy, and since we finished, well for the most part, Circuits of Soaring Dreams, and I've run out of episodes for Ask the Gout, don't worry, I will be back, but you know, recording with lots of people can make it a little bit difficult to get as many episodes as I'd like. So, in the meantime, I'm going to be playing a new game that I just got. It's by Winter Wolves, so they were the same people who made Nicole, and this game is called C14 Dating. And it's looked interesting to me for quite a while. I've been wanting to play it, but I only just got the game myself, so I'm really excited to start this. So I hope you guys are excited too. So let's go ahead and start this. And this is not the game that I was going to play with in between Stormlover Kai. That's a different game, so look forward to that still. Okay, so let's start this. Leave minigames on, turn minigames off. Would you like to turn off minigames? You will be unable to complete your journal. Okay, let's leave them on. I like minigames. Maybe next time I won't. I don't know. You can use an alternate font and dialogue look. If you do not like the current one, make your choice, then choose Start Game. You can toggle between the two styles during the game using the F button. What does that even matter? What's the alternate one? Is he gonna show me? I don't know. Oh no, I don't like that. I like this. Okay, start game. Okay. Is this it? I glanced at the map, which highlighted road names along with a star next to my destination. After comparing, I came to the conclusion this wasn't the place, but I was close. The village, Corinne's, was clustered by the Meuse River, and I paused to admire the pretty gardens surrounding the houses. I was oddly calm. Despite being over 5,000 miles from my Californian home, the reality of being in another country had yet to sink in. Up ahead, there was a clearing separated from the road by a fence. On the other side, a few tents were stationed behind a 2-story building. I spotted an open chained gate with a billboard in front of the driveway. It said, Grotte de Calin Entrée. I'm not sure. That's the place! So her name is Melissa, I guess. A familiar figure stood by the entrance. She was currently talking to a middle-aged man, but when she saw me, she gave me a cheerful wave as I ran up to her. Sherry! With one hand on my bag handle, I exchanged a half embrace with my professor. I didn't know you already arrived. If you called me, I would have come and picked you up at the train station. You mentioned that the cave wasn't far, so I wanted to soak in the scenery and enjoy the sights. I'm glad you made it safely. Was it difficult taking the train? Nope. Well, I did try to practice my French at the ticket station until the person said that he could speak English. He pointed me in the right direction. At least you'll be able to brush up on your French. You'll find it's not too different from Spanish. You'll catch on quickly. I groaned inwardly. My Spanish wasn't the most fluent, but I mentioned it in my interview when discussing how I would cope with staying in Belgium without knowing French. I glanced around, then turned to Sherry. Where's Paige? Didn't she say that she would be arriving earlier today? Or was that tomorrow? I got an email from her yesterday saying that there was a family emergency. She won't be able to participate this summer. I failed to hide my disappointment. Paige was the other student from my university who planned to attend this field. We even worked out trips to do every weekend during our stay. I mustered up a weak smile. It's understandable. Can't be helped if it's family. Then it would just be me. Sherry gestured to the other person present to change the subject. Before I forget, let me introduce to you Professor Augustine Dupont, Chief Archaeologist of Calin Cave. I eagerly extended my arm for a handshake. Everything I heard about Mr. Dupont was from Sherry, and she'd mentioned that he was a revered Belgian archaeologist. It's an honor to meet you. I'm Melissa Flores, a junior. I look forward to seeing Sherry's students every summer. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mr. Dupont spoke with a heavy French accent, but I had no trouble comprehending him. Have you gone over everything with Sherry?
When the students from Liège arrive tonight, they'll get their first lecture before dinner.
Yes, I'll still attend the lecture though. If I was going to be submerged in a language, I might as well start by hanging out with the local students. Mr. Dupont eyed my suitcase.
It must have been a tiring trip. Come, we will show you around the back. Students will be spending the weekdays here.
We reached the clearing and I spotted the same tents, most clustered around the perimeter against the bushes, and a few were closer to the building. Feel free to pick one. These are for the students who don't own their own tents or air mattresses, or couldn't bring them. The chief archaeologist gave a nod, then excused himself. He probably had other matters to attend to before the students arrived. I studied the tents next to the building and thought about my phone, which was still in airplane mode. How's the Wi-Fi here? If you stay in that tent, you might get Wi-Fi. It doesn't extend much here in the back. If you've brought a laptop, you can leave it in the laboratory. It's been done before. Everything gets locked up at night, though, for safekeeping. Fair enough. At least I can keep in touch with my parents. Once you've finished, come back to the front and we'll give you a tour. Will we get to see the cave today? It's already locked, so you'll have to wait until morning. And the anticipation builds. I thanked her and started unpacking. There was already a mattress, pillow, and sleeping bag in place, and it only took a few moments to settle in. Done. Grabbing a small storage bag, I zipped my tent and hurried over to the front of the building. Anyway, this is the main entrance. This will take you to the... She opened the door and my eyes widened when I saw display after display. It was a museum! And a remarkably tiny one. After one loop, I was already back to the entrance. I wanted to examine the displays more, but figured I'd have more free time later. Sherry and I ascended the stairs by the entrance. This room is more of a multi-purpose room. It can be used for lectures, and it's where findings are cleaned if the weather isn't suitable outside. I cradled the storage bag, wondering how to bring up the question. Fortunately, Sherry noticed. Something important in there? The extra insulin I won't be using yet. It needs to avoid extreme temperatures. Is there somewhere safe I can store it? Oh, of course. Thank you for reminding me. Feel free to use the indoor kitchen since it's restricted to staff members. Augustine has granted you access since he knows you're a diabetic. I wonder if that's going to come into play later on. I'm sure it will. She led me to the back, giving me a chance to store the insulin bottles in the fridge. And to conclude the tour, this is the lab. This is where most of the research takes place. How many students will be here? It varies. There can be as many as 40 or as few as 20. Students from Liège are required to devote at least 4 weeks at an archaeological site, regardless of their major. Therefore, we may get a lot of music and art students too. The other students should be arriving soon. How's the jet lag? Not bad so far. A little fatigued, but nothing else. I'm going to be up all night, aren't I? Worst case scenario, I'll give you an extra day to prepare yourself for the dig. You have reviewed the material I've given you, right? Yes, I've looked at it. Is there anything else that you'd like to go over? It has been a month since my last lecture. Inquire about Callan Cave, how long have you been digging here, go over the itinerary, go over the field school grading system, ask about Augustine, Neanderthal or Neanderthal, that's all. Okay, let's talk about the cave, because she was really interested in it before. Can you remind me about the site again? I know it's famous for discovering the remains of a Neanderthal dating back to 125,000 years ago. Correct. The site has established 2 Neanderthal occupations from different times. This is mainly a Middle Paleolithic site with sediments ranging from 300,000 years old to as recent as 4,000 years. Nice! I can't wait to discover a tooth or something. If you do, it'll likely belong to a cave bear. Cave bear? Are those remains found often? Yes, 99% of all fauna animals remains collected are cave bear. Even so, I'm sure that's something. Not many people can say they dug up Cave Bear. Okay, so we asked about the cave. How long have you been digging here? I think we're just gonna get to go through them all. How long have you been a part of the team? Me? I started working with Augustine about 10 years ago. We go way back. That's how I established the Callan Cave internship. Our university has developed a reputation for bringing over exceptional students. And it's just me this year. I hope I'm able to live up to the expectations. I'm sure you'll do fine. Go over the itinerary. What's the schedule exactly? How long does the dig go till? It's ongoing until the end of August. You'll be leaving at the end of next month, was it? Right, on a Saturday. I know only 4 weeks are required for the field school, but I thought I'll learn more if I stayed for 8. Dates aside, breakfast is served in the morning at 7:30. Cave and lab activities go from 8 to noon, and then there's an hour for lunch. Activities resume from 1 to 5. Dinner starts at 7. On the weekends, both students and excavation team leave for home. The cave and museum are locked up during this time. The back of the building will be accessible to you, of course. And if you'd prefer, you can sleep on the second floor if you don't like the idea of sleeping outside alone. Again, I'm sorry it's just you. I usually get more students than this. I'll be okay on my own, promise. Go over the field school grading system. I'd like to go over the grading system one more time. Did you bring your journal? I sure did. Essentially, I'll be grading you on your performances, both in the cave and working at the lab. I'd like you to record your findings and experiences in the journal. I expect it to be turned in every Friday evening, and I'll give it back the following Monday. If you're sick, you're allowed to miss some days. I won't deduct marks for that. However, there's no excuse for playing truant. Don't forget to take breaks often while you excavate in the cave. There's a risk of getting hypothermia due to less oxygen. I'm not marking your academics. I'll also be seeing how often you volunteer. Volunteer? Yes. Students use the outdoor kitchen and are in charge of preparing meals, along with the cleanup that follows. I don't expect you to volunteer all of the time, since that does cut into your excavation and lab time, but once in a while is ideal. Okay. Ask about Augustine. Is Augustine easy to get along with? He seems friendly. He is for the most part. But he's like an overprotective father when it comes to the cave. He's been supervising it for over 2 decades, and is the leading expert. It's his baby. I'll be helping you, of course, and as far as I'm concerned, you're my student, not his. Any problems that come up, I'll discuss with you personally. I meekly nodded, although now I was worried about making a mistake. After all, this was new to me. Neanderthal or Neanderthal? I noticed in all your lectures you use Neanderthal. Oh, I've always heard it as Neanderthal. Is it a preference? A preference, and there's no H sound when it's pronounced in French. Ah, fair. And German. It's something that I picked up when I started working in Europe. However, both are accepted spellings in academic journals. Here, it'll be referenced to as Neanderthal. Right, Neanderthal it is. And that's it. I do like the little graph paper. I think that's cute. I think I'm good for now. Great. However, if any new questions come up, feel free to ask. We heard activity outside, complete with loud voices and footsteps on the gravel. It sounds like the students from Liège are here. Augustine will start the lecture soon. Huh? No chance to unpack or get ready or anything like that? No. All of the students were given instructions on when to arrive. Punctuality is valued greatly here. Oh, punctuality, sorry. He'll lecture now, and the students will settle in after. I'll be on my way. Some students stood, while others sat on the stone tiles in front of the building. A few leaned against their luggage, but they all formed a semicircle around Augustine. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.